Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well informed. Today we're diving into something I think everyone can relate to. That feeling of losing something important.
Oh, definitely. We've all had that little jolt, haven't we? That sudden panic.
Exactly, that frantic search when your keys aren't where you swear you left them, or, your phone seems to have just vanished into thin air. It's that immediate, frustrating moment.
It really is. And it's more than just the object itself, isn't it? It feels like a disruption, a little break in your day's rhythm, maybe even your sense of control.
That's a great way to put it. So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack this very common experience. We'll follow the journey, from that initial oh no moment to the practical steps people actually take.
And what's really interesting, I think, is what it reveals about us, about social dynamics, and even the language we use.
Yes, absolutely. We want to give you a clear picture, some useful insights, maybe some practical tips, and definitely the key words and phrases people use when talking about losing and finding things. Hopefully, a few aha moments along the way.
Exactly. It's not just what people lose, but how they react, how communities sometimes play a part, and how knowing the right language really helps in these everyday situations.
So, to really get into it, let's start with a story, a real-life example from our source material. It's about Mia, a university student in a big city.
Okay.
Picture this. It's a busy Monday morning. Mia's running late for class, really rushing. She grabs her bag, heads out the door, doesn't really stop to check what's inside.
Oh, I can feel the setup already. Being in a rush, that's classic, isn't it? Your mind is on getting somewhere, not on the little details like, did I actually put my wallet in the bag?
Precisely. So Mia hops on the bus, still kind of flustered. A few stops later, she thinks, okay, coffee before class, reaches into her bag for her wallet, and nothing, just, the lining of the bag.
A sinking feeling.
Total panic hits her. She starts frantically checking every pocket, maybe looking under the seat on the bus, the drill, but no wallet. Then it clicks. She remembers having it the night before at a cafe near her place.
Right, that immediate frantic search, followed by mentally retracing your steps. That's such a typical human response. Your brain just goes into overdrive trying to piece together the last known location. It's all about trying to get back some control.
Yeah, exactly. So Mia's story continues. After class, still feeling anxious, obviously, she heads straight back to that cafe.
Smart move. Go back to the last place you remember having it.
She walks up to the cashier, probably a bit nervous, and asks if, by any chance, anyone found a wallet.
And here's a really key moment in these situations. The cashier doesn't just say yes or no. They ask, can you describe it?
Yes. And that question is so important, isn't it?
It's crucial. It's basically the first step in verifying ownership. Without a decent description, how can they know it's yours?
Right. And Mia was ready. She said, yes. It's black leather, it has a zipper, and my student card is inside. That specific detail, the student card, that's golden.
Absolutely. Being able to describe an item well is vital. Not just a black wallet, but features, material, maybe something distinctive inside. It helps the staff, confirms it's really yours, and just makes the whole process work. Builds a bit of trust right there.
And then the payoff. The cashier smiles, reaches under the counter, and hands over the wallet. Says something like, someone turned it in last night.
Ah, brilliant. That relief must have been huge.
Totally. Mia was incredibly relieved, thanked them profusely, you can imagine.
And this part of the story really highlights something our sources point out, a kind of cultural aspect.
Yeah.
In many English-speaking places, it's quite common, almost expected, for people to turn in lost items they find.
Yeah, like to a lost and found, or the staff at a shop.
Exactly. It's not just being nice, though it is that too. It's sort of baked into a sense of community responsibility, honesty. It says something quite positive, I think, about the level of trust people often have in each other in public spaces.
That's a really interesting point about trust and community. So Mia definitely learned her lesson. The sources mentioned that afterwards, she started consciously double-checking her bag every time before leaving home.
Good habit to get into.
And she did something else too. She put a small tracker device inside her wallet, just in case.
Ah, using technology. That's a very practical step for preventing future losses, or at least making them easier to resolve. That and the double checking, these are simple strategies, but they can give you so much peace of mind.
It really embodies that saying Mia apparently adopted.
Yeah.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Couldn't agree more.
It's true. Losing things happens to everyone. But like Mia found out, there are definitely things you can do to lower the risk and certainly lower the stress involved. Now, as we've been talking about Mia, you've probably noticed certain words and phrases cropping up again and again. That's because the language we use around losing and finding things is quite specific. Let's dig into that a bit.
Yeah, understanding these patterns really helps you sound natural when you're talking about these, well, pretty common situations. It's about how words team up.
Exactly. Linguists call them collocations, words that just naturally go together. Like in Mia's story, she was in a rush. We wouldn't typically say in a speed or something, right? In a rush just fits.
Or the basic one, lose something. You lose your keys, lose your phone. It implies misplacement. And when someone finds it and returns it, they turn something in. Like the cashier said, someone turned it in. It implies that act of responsibility.
Right. And the actions we take, we check our bag or even double check it, not just look inside. After you find something, you feel relieved. That's the natural pairing.
Other common ones from the story and sources. You catch the bus. If you're behind schedule, you run late. The idea of trying to keep track of something, like your phone or keys. And the general advice to be responsible for your things.
Using these collocations just makes your English flow so much better. They're like little building blocks for sounding natural.
They really are. They add a layer of precision and, frankly, efficiency to how we talk about these experiences.
Okay, beyond those pairs, there's also just some core vocabulary. Obvious ones maybe, but essential. Mia's wallet, of course. Then keys, another classic lost item. We carry stuff in a bag. Mia was on a bus, heading to class, wanted coffee from the cafe.
The person who helped was the cashier, and her tech solution was a tracker. These nouns are the anchors, really. You need them to tell the story clearly.
Definitely. And then there are phrasal verbs. These can be tricky sometimes, but they're so common in everyday English. Our sources flag a few key ones, like lose track of.
Right, which means you don't know where something is anymore, or you just weren't paying attention. You can lose track of your phone, or even lose track of time.
Look for is fundamental, just means searching. I'm looking for my keys. Simple, essential.
And we mentioned turn in, giving back something lost. He turned in the wallet he found.
Check out is another useful one. It can mean to investigate or examine, like I need to check out the lost and found, or we checked out the area where she thought she dropped it.
It implies a bit more thoroughness sometimes. And then run into, this often means meeting someone unexpectedly. I ran into Sarah at the shop. But it can also mean entering a place quickly, like she ran into the cafe to ask about her wallet. It has that sense of urgency.
Getting comfortable with these phrasal verbs really makes a difference in sounding fluent and natural when you're talking about these kinds of everyday events.
Absolutely. And while we're on language, our sources also pointed out a few common mistakes people make, especially around verb tenses. It's easy to slip up.
Like what?
Well, for example, using the correct past tense. It should be she forgot her wallet, not she forget. Getting those simple past forms right is key.
Okay, yeah, that's a common one.
And distinguishing between habits and single past events. I lose my keys all the time. That's present tense for a habit. But for yesterday, I lost my keys. Past tense.
Makes sense. What else?
Subject-verb agreement, especially with don't. He doesn't check his bag, not he don't check. And a big one. After did, in a question, the main verb stays in its base form. Did you find your phone? Not, did you found?
Ah, yes. Always. Did you find? Did you see? Did you look? Good reminder.
One more. The word panic, you'd say I panicked, verb, or I was panicked, adjective, not I was very panic. Just getting the form right.
These might seem like small details, but they really add up to clear and correct communication, especially in a slightly stressful situation, like looking for something lost.
Exactly. And these situations, as we said, are universal. Our sources had other anecdotes too, beyond Mia.
Oh yeah, like the scenario of losing a passport at the airport. Talk about high stakes. That's a level of panic most of us dread even thinking about.
Right. Imagine that feeling just before a flight. But then, the story goes, you race back to security, heart pounding, and someone's already handed it in. That shift from sheer terror to overwhelming relief and gratitude.
It really highlights that kindness as strangers element again.
Definitely. Or something less dramatic, but maybe more frequent, constantly misplacing headphones. You just had them. Where did they go?
Happens to me all the time. It's fascinating how these moments, big or small, follow that same emotional arc. Panic, search, relief, hopefully.
And it always brings us back to those practical strategies, doesn't it? Double-checking, having a designated spot for things, maybe using a tracker. Small habits that save you that stress.
For sure. And connecting back to that cultural tip, again, that expectation in many places that people will turn in lost items. That's why labeling things is also such a good idea. A name and phone number on a backpack or even inside a wallet can make a huge difference.
It really facilitates that whole system of return and reinforces that community trust. Which makes you think, doesn't it? How do these little cultural norms, these expectations of helping out, actually contribute to how safe and connected we feel in our daily lives?
It's a deep question. So wrapping things up, what are the key takeaways for you, our listener? Well, first, losing things is universal. It happens. That shift from panic to relief is a shared human experience.
And we've seen how important clear descriptions are and knowing where to look, like official lost and found places. Also, the real value of simple preventative habits. Double-checking, using trackers, these things empower you.
And don't forget the role of community and honesty. That act of turning something in really matters. So we encourage you to think about your own experiences. Maybe try using some of this language. Perhaps even do that writing exercise. Describe a time you lost something. What happened? How did you feel? It's a great way to practice.
And just to leave you with a final thought, if we zoom out a bit, this whole idea of being responsible for your things, applying that better safe than sorry approach, it isn't just about wallets and keys, is it? You could apply the same thinking to managing information, managing your time, maybe even nurturing relationships. It's really about building systems, whatever they look like, to help you keep track of what's genuinely important.
That's a fantastic thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yes, thank you. Keep track of your things and keep exploring the world with curiosity.
Goodbye for now.